Our next story is from Germany, around the US air base of Ramstein in southwest Germany. Many people have watched with alarm as US President Donald Trump casts doubt on America's future military presence in Europe. You see, for decades now, locals have endured the roar of fighter jets and have forged close economic and cultural bonds with many of the 50,000 American military personnel and their relatives living there now. Now, Germans are struggling to imagine the town without the US base. They say that if the US pulls the plug, everyone will be socially destroyed. Listen in.
Aber diese Ängste bestehen.
I would say that they play the economic role here in the region. Because if they pull the plug here, then we will be socially burnt here. That has to be said quite clearly.
Wir wissen, dass diese Stationierung offensichtlich.
Many people are stunned, in fact, by Washington's new stance towards Europe, especially after US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth warned the NATO allies last month not to assume the US troop presence on the continent will last forever. Many Germans, in fact, have long felt a sense of gratitude to the United States, which helped rebuild the country after Nazi Germany's World War II defeat and made the young democracy the location for many key Cold War bases. They say they were shocked to watch last week's White House clash in which Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance berated the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, according to them. The wider sense of shock at the changing dynamics is palpable there, where many residents have lived shoulder to shoulder with American service personnel and their families for decades now.
Viele gehen auch in eine deutsche Schule.
Many of them also go to a German school, but they can't speak that much German. And I made friends in the class.
Also wirtschaftlich gesehen ist es sehr wichtig.
So economically speaking, it's very important because lots and lots of people work there. My family itself, my granddad worked there, my uncle, my father, my husband is American.
Now, economically speaking, Americans spend about 1.4 billion euros a year in the local economy. They've voiced hope that a US troop withdrawal would not come because it would basically leave an economic gap.
So every tradesman, every plumber, every painter, for example, or every small business, including bakeries and taxi firms, everyone depends somewhere indirectly on the airport, of course, quite clearly on the airbase.
Jeder hängt irgendwo indirekt natürlich von dem Flughafen ab, ganz klar.
Following Trump's warnings, Germany's likely next chancellor has also warned about the need for Europe to gradually become independent of the American security umbrella. And on the 4th of March, German parties agreed on historic debt overhaul to revamp the military as well as the economy.
We are aware that Europe and, together with Europe, the Federal Republic of Germany must now make great efforts very quickly to strengthen the defense capability of our country and the European continent. We are counting on the United States of America to continue to stand by our mutual alliance commitments in the future. However, we also know that the resources for our national and alliance defense must now be significantly expanded.
Landes- und Bündnisverteidigung jetzt erheblich.
Still, some experts voice doubts that a US withdrawal from Europe is on the cards, especially from the ski base. This base allows the United States to project power across parts of Asia and Africa, where it is competing with China for markets as well as resources. And Donald Trump, of course, has been critical of this deployment, a view that the Republican president has voiced since before the Russia-Ukraine war. Meanwhile, others acknowledge that Trump's demand that European allies spend more on defense is the only logical way forward for Europe to come out of America's security umbrella. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.